That's a pretty big shark over the bar, but I've seen bigger. Oh, that's the render of the Loch himself. 60 years ago, he swam into Loch Bane from the open sea. He went after anyone who dared to wade in past their knees. Killed a dozen people between here and All Flags. Anyway, he owns the place. Sure. One of his victims was the proprietor of the ancient anchor, Malciana's Storm Spray. She was a captain, half pirate really, who retired to Gunfallen Bay and bought the anchor. But she got bored and decided to hunt down the render. Well, the way I heard it, Captain Malciana liked to boast that anyone who beat her in a fair fight could have the inn. When the shark got her, the townsfolk honored her wish. To this day, the Render remains the official owner of the ancient anchor.
Now quick, where is my horse?
Hail, friend. Have you heard about the band of robber knights that waylaid travelers on the road to Gonfalon Bay? I came to High Isle to trade, but getting goods from the interior has become a roll of the dice. A rogue band that calls itself the Ascendant Order. I thought they were only active on the mainland, but they're here on High Isle. Rabble-rousers and troublemakers, if you ask me. And now, I hear they're looting caravans outside the city walls. Not specifically, but I saw some fancy-pants nobles giving the dockmaster grief. Missing ships could mean anything. Storms, pirates, poor winds, worthless navigators. Try Sergeant Dane over there. He's with the Sisters Guard and knows a lot.
I'm off duty, newcomer. Got a complaint? Take it to one of the other guards. We police High Isle. Ships that haven't arrived yet aren't our problem. Besides, we've got our hands full with these so-called Ascendant Order Knights. They're stirring up trouble all across the island. Just that they're little more than well-armed bandits. They've been recruiting the poor to bolster their numbers. Now they're robbing caravans while claiming they fight for justice. Honest folk don't hide their faces behind helmets and masks. They're malcontents. They go on about how the high and mighty misuse their power by squabbling over the Ruby Throne. It started out small enough, defying authority, inciting riots, petty sabotage. But now they're hurting people. Something else, newcomer? I'd like to get back to my drink. Ordinary bandits, the Sisters Guard can handle. But when we send enough guards to meet a company of Ascendant Order Ravagers, these faceless knights just melt away. And if we don't send enough guards, then our guards don't come back. Might as well be. Most knights proudly display their emblems. They wear the colors of their house and paint family crests on their shields. These Ascendant Order Knights never remove their helms and bear no devices. They could be anybody.
What sickness came unto our shores from across the Aretian sea? The good folk shook the bad folk side and told this tale to me. Dead, dead.
We...
The Book of Laws is clear. Pay your bounty. Next time, you'll face the full force of the law.
Oh, so now I'm the drunken fool.
Yes! Are we going to race?
I think I've got this. Just a bit more, and I'll have a spell matrix worthy of the greatest mage rights on Artaeum.
For a small island dedicated to the pleasures of wealthy nobles, the library here at the Guild Hall is surprisingly well stocked. It especially has the volumes I need to help me with my research. If you'll excuse me, I must get back to it.
Thank you for your service to the Mages Guild.
I thought I had the library to myself today. I admit I might have lost track of the time. Or the day, now that I think on it.
I'm just glad there were some survivors at the mill. It could have been...
Commoners like me can't become knights. At least, not easily. Need to have some noble friends for that kind of step up in the world.
Are you just going to stand there and admire? Come now, you look more like the type to take action, not sit around while it passes you by.
As mud as my mother, I will avenge that day!
Keep moving, stranger. There's a lot of full pockets in this place, and I plan to lighten them. Don't need anyone drawing attention to me.
Forgetting your prayers will cost you in the end.
Divines keep you safe, traveler. Are you here to ask for guidance as well?
May Arcade drive back the darkness, forevermore.
Lots of knights come in here. I try to keep the place looking nice for them. My brother wanted to be a knight. Maybe that would have ended better for him.
So many knights have fallen in battle over the years. I can count the number of compatriots I've lost in my time in the Order of the Albatross. That's why I come to the temple, to remember them and honor their deeds.
Well?
Not much longer now.
I'm Levis Calvis of the Fighters Guild, currently serving as an agent of the Three Alliances. I work as a go-between while they conduct some related business here in the archipelago. I'd do my job better if they told me what that business was.
Hope some good meat comes in from the mainland soon. Smell that sea breeze. Fine day.
I apprenticed for a noble years ago when I first came to Gonfalon Bay. Somehow, that man managed to never get his hands dirty, even when working with metal and grease and fire. Astounds me to this day.
If they have the properties they're purported to possess, then the enchantment of the olfactory senses must... Ah, sorry. Hello there. I'm afraid I was lost in my thoughts. May I help you? Oh, is that what you've come to me for? I suspect it might be possible to extract a potent stimulant from hadalid tissues, but the brine glands are usually irretrievable. When their shells are soft, however, the glands can be harvested intact. Yes, well, they're quite large and rather dangerous. Otherwise, I would simply go collect a sample for myself. But I've been told there are plenty of adventurers on High Isle willing to assist my research by facing angry hadalids for coin.
Ganache is a prisoner? I don't understand. Ask him what happened.
Can you help me? There's been a terrible mistake. I'm with the Daggerfall Covenant diplomatic mission, but this guard doesn't believe me. I'm not what he thinks I am. Rigard, he got me into this mess. Last night after dinner, we were talking about our favorite places in Hrothgar. He disappeared into the back and returned with a bag. He said something about getting a dessert for me. I left. On my way home, this guard stopped me. I told him what I thought about that, so he frisked me. It turns out the bag was filled with skooma. I didn't know, I swear. Can you talk to Sergeant Dupertis? I've got diplomatic immunity.
You'd better talk to the guard. Olganash won't be able to pay his share of the tab if he's in prison.
I'm sure Olganash spun you a sad tale. Criminals will say just about anything to avoid going to prison. He even told me he was a diplomat. Hope he's got a better story for the city magistrate. If I had a gold coin for every criminal who tells me he's got friends in high places, I'd be a wealthy man. Word of warning, mainlander. Make false statements to an officer of the law, and you'll be in front of the magistrate too. I'll free Olganash if we catch the criminal who refined the moon sugar. There's a smuggler named Burjack Catalan who hangs around the Ancient Anchor. We're sure he deals in skooma, but we haven't been able to prove it. He's the criminal I really want. Follow Burjack Catalan and find where he keeps his contraband. I'll need you to bring me proof he's got skooma. We've tried to arrest him before, only to come up empty-handed. I saw Burjack in Gonfalon Square earlier. If you're in, start there.
You are very clever, friend. Just find Burjack Catalan's ill-gotten booty, and I'll get my scepter back. It's simple. See? This is all working out. Trail Burjack Catalan back to his den and bring back proof he has skooma there. We need to free Olganash so he can pay his tab. We might have been arguing about where to get the best cake in Hrothgar. That made us want cake. But the man in the back room said he did not have any cake. So I asked him to give me whatever he had. For Olganash. I don't know, but it must have been very special. He told me not to let anyone else open the bag except my friend. I hoped Olganash would look inside so I could see the surprise, but he just said he'd take it home and eat it later.
What a night. Time for a little nightcap. What are you up to? Be about your business, and leave me alone. Leave me be. I'm minding my own business. Maybe you should too.
When I sailed from Sentinel, I had no idea the High Isle markets would be so lucrative. Well worth the trip.
These troubling times.
Just a drink, an old soul you can't sing. I can't carry your bag.
Time's what I asked for the skooma. Paid for the best night I've had in years.
Ah, you are back. Do you have the dessert? Sergeant Dupertis is waiting.
Did you find Burjack Catalan? More importantly, did you bring back any proof that he's dealing in skooma? Someone has to go to prison today. I'd rather take him than your friend here. I knew it! Thank you, Mainlander. We've been trying for months to catch Burjack Catalan with incriminating evidence, but he can smell a guard from a block away. He hides it all before we get anywhere near him. I'm true to my word. I'm after the smuggler who's bringing skooma into my town. Not some drunken fool who ends up with a vial in his pocket. But tell your friend if I see him anywhere near Moon Sugar again, I'll arrest him on the spot.
Excellent! Ulgonash has paid his debt to society. Another diplomatic triumph. Good work, friend. Our diplomacy is very strong today. Talk to Ulgonash, please. Now that he's free, he should be happy to pay his share of last night's bill. I need to get my scepter of office back.
That's better. I can't thank you enough. Without your help, I'd still be under arrest. Now, what's all this about Rigert and his missing scepter? No one paid the innkeeper? I don't understand. We ate and drank quite a lot last night, but Riggard said he'd taken care of it. I would never skip out on a bill. We have to make this right. What do you need me to do? Gladly. I'll head back to my rooms and clean myself up. As soon as I can feel my fingers again, I'll meet you back at the inn with a coin for my share. It's the least I can do.
Excellent! Good thing we came along when we did. I can't imagine how he got himself into this situation.
Enjoy your stay in Gonfalon Bay, Mainlander. But not too much. I've had my fill of drunkards and fools today.
I can't believe Olganash got himself arrested. That will be some story, huh? Now we just have to find Tanilan and convince her to pay her portion of the bill from last night. Marisat Lemater seemed pretty angry about it all.
Some of the druids have strange stories. One talks about how she walked around Dufort shipyards covered in snails, and nobody there said a word. Wish I knew how she got the snails all over her. That could have come in useful in my last match.
If you venture into town, look for the cats. At least one of them really likes to get a good cuddle in. No, I'll not tell you which. Part of the fun is in the seeking.
If you're not up for a good match here, head over to Gonfalon Bay. I hear they have all kinds of challenges you can take on.
Good eye. I didn't even see that runestone at first.
Well, I shouldn't just walk into someone's home, even if they were rude. Oh, good. A kind face. I have tried time and again to ask politely for my friend's safe return, but they rudely mock me in response. Would you help me retrieve Privet? They took her away into Breakwater Cave. Didn't even ask my permission. Oh, my Privet is without a doubt the most beautiful sheep on the island. Just ask anyone and they'll agree. A swell of Hadalids reside in this cave. They displayed such inner ugliness and took Privet. I just heard her cries from inside. Well, even if my Privet was just your typical sheep, which she is not, that would not excuse the Hadalids' rude behavior. I need someone strong to support my negotiations for Privet's return. How would you feel about joining me in exchange for coin? I knew you looked friendly. There goes a true friend to animals, I said. Now, with you to accompany me into the cave, our negotiations can begin. They may get rough, but I refuse to leave without my Privet. I am so much more than a simple farmer. They only think of animals as a source of income, or even food. No, I am an animal steward. I serve each of the creatures under my care. Whatever their needs may be, I attend to them. Absolutely. In many ways, I take care of every creature on High Isle. Those that cannot speak for themselves, anyway. Many animals find their way to my home that deserve special attention. Privet was just such a sheep. I woke one morning and instantly knew someone needed my care. I leapt from bed and ran to my door. And just out front, there she was. Oh, Privet was quite the beauty. From the moment I laid eyes on her, I knew I had to serve her. I regret that I didn't introduce myself when they arrived. Such a simple gesture from me could have prevented this crime. Hadalids aren't soft like sheep. They're covered in hard shells with nasty spikes, like overgrown mud crabs. Oh, and the smell. Like rotten meat floating in dirty seawater. They usually live far below the water, so I shouldn't judge. Maybe my scent of fine lanolin and fresh hay offends them. Oh, listen to me gossiping like a child. This happens when I get emotional. Sadly, no. That's the sort of thing I'd learn in a friendly conversation. I've heard rumors about Hadalid attacks on other islands around here. In the past, I assumed that was just bigotry. Now, I'm not so sure. Of course you do. I could go on for an eternity about her. I already mentioned her beauty, but she's also so considerate. One time, I caught her chewing on a shirt. I felt very cross until I realized she'd done me a favor. It was my old, worn gardening shirt. I like to give used cloth to the seamstress in town. She makes patches, but she's old and it hurts her to cut cloth, so I cut it before donating. Privet saved me the trouble. She's great.
For good!
Great work, but questions still remain. I shall return to my order and report all that has happened. Until we meet again.
lightning!
You return, and with the idol. Place it here, and I shall call forth its light. Mother Kinnereth, this traveler has set right the desecration of this holy place. Return to us your blessing, and let your light shine over the land and sea. I cannot thank you enough. With the idol returned and the light restored, we can ensure the safe passage of many a weary traveler. Is there any way a priest of humble means could repay you? A blessing, perhaps? Shortly after the lighthouse was pillaged, I spied 3 ships on the horizon. Then suddenly, the clouds darkened, and a terrible storm began to blow in. I lost sight of the ships after that. Perhaps they were simply blown off course? Aminos is notorious for its storms, but Kinnereth generally blesses High Isle with fair weather. I wonder, the way the storm swept in seemed unnatural, and it happened so soon after Kinnereth's idol was removed. The idol has little value outside the lighthouse. Its light does not shine in any other location. My order believes Kinnereth's light blesses High Isle. Why steal the idol unless the knights meant to revoke her protection? A troubling thought indeed.
Good luck! Oh, you're my hero.
Here, these spots should have the ingredients I mentioned. If you can gather them and bring them back, I can whip up a drink that's sure to make all the mainlanders empty out their pockets. So long as I can keep Hilgrim away from it. Hilgrim and I are always experimenting with different flavors and ingredients. Not all of them are successful, of course, but we've only just met, lovely stranger. I can't go giving you all our secrets just yet. Hilgrim...
Up we go!
Lost another one. What could it be?
Hey, patients can't go this far. Oh, wait, you're not from the manor. Sorry for the stern healer voice. We have a crisis at Steadfast Manor and I'm frustrated. A mysterious affliction is weakening our patients. We're powerless against it. Steadfast Manor belongs to Lord Bacaro Valoris. He shares his home as a place of healing for both body and soul. Wounded from all sides in the Three Banners War recover here. But if this malady continues to spread, we may have to shutter it. Steadfast Manor isn't just a hospice. It's a place of reconciliation. Lord Bacaro sees our work here as a means to end the war. Perhaps you could help with our problem. Surely you've solved mysteries before. We can reward you for your efforts. I so appreciate your help. Even if you don't know alchemy or healing magic, just helping us learn more could be immensely useful. Go talk to Armin Damal at the manor. He's been looking into this malady. You can find him by the south gate. A soldier of the Daggerfall Covenant. A bit gruff, as you'd expect from a veteran. But I've seen how tenacious he is. I doubt he'll sleep until he learns the cause of the malady. Just don't take his tone personally. He's like that to everyone. Armin was one of our first patients. He's recovered from his wounds, so he could leave if he wished. But he lingers to provide security in case there's a fight. I think he sees real promise in the Society of the Steadfast mission. Honestly, not as often as you'd think. Most of the patients respect our goals. They know the soldiers from the other side are here to heal too. But tempers sometimes run hot. It's only natural. That's when Armin steps in. Quite majestic, isn't it? The pride of Lord Bacaro Valoris. He's shown such generosity by opening his doors to the wounded. I don't know much about the building itself, but I can't imagine a more beautiful place to work. Lord Bacaro leads the Society of the Steadfast. They're a philanthropic group that wants to bring the Three Banners War to an end. While they work toward peace, they try to ease the suffering it causes. Our work at the manor is part of that. Lord Bacaro believes, and I agree, that living alongside the enemy dulls hatreds. These soldiers share stories, heal together, eat at the same table. Hopefully our hospice plants seeds that will someday bloom into peace. I'm one of the menders who works for our master healer, Alexis Verlaine. Mostly I dress wounds and dispense herbs. I suppose I provide some comfort as well. I like this work. Working for such a noble goal is quite rewarding.
I love harvesting runestones.
They're in for it now.
You there! Can we speak for a moment? You look healthy. Walking about on your own, no shadows in your eyes. You're better off than most of the patients here, which means you're just who I need. Our patients have fallen prey to a strange malady. We could use some help. Ah, good. Then I can skip trying to convince you. But I promise to pay fairly should we succeed. I need to track down this affliction's source. Only patients at the manor seem affected. So I assume the cause must be nearby. Sadly, very little. The menders stay busy tending to the afflicted, and the patients don't quite trust me enough to talk freely. So I need you. If you track down the cause of this malady, perhaps the menders can do something about it. I'd suggest you talk to some patients who are feeling its effects. Try Arabil Vools by the fountain, or Malagi. He likes to watch the sea. Oh, and speak with Mender Talil, too. She's inside. I'll be waiting upstairs when you're done. I can give a first-hand report. The first symptom is the nightmares. I'm familiar with dreams of war, but these were somehow more horrible. I remember eyes around me, peering from darkness, and screaming. Constant screaming. Other patients have fevers and fits of shaking. Some become confused, believing themselves back on the battlefield. I had to subdue a dark elf who turned on a mender. Seeing the others like that, I hope that's not where I'm headed. Fortunately, no. I'm lucky, though I dread the day when it comes for me. The malady doesn't seem to strike the same way twice. That's one of the factors that has confused the healers here. Like the others, I fought for my king, until I caught a spear in the gut. I laid in the mud for hours before an orc shaman found me. She dragged me back to camp. I ended up in a Breton infirmary. That's when I got the offer. A representative of the society came to my bedside. Told me about a noble plan to foster peace in Tamriel. She described how I'd recover alongside my enemies. I thought it sounded overly optimistic, but who turns down a stay by the ocean? Oh, I dream of peace, friend. I've seen too many friends killed, and too much blood spilled to wish otherwise. But I also know that the powerful crave more power, and they don't seem to do much of the fighting or bleeding for it. The manor belongs to Lord Bacaro Valoris. He formed the Society of the Steadfast to work for an end to the Three Banners War. The Society brings wounded soldiers from all sides here to recover. They hope we'll find common ground with our enemies. I guess I'm the guard. Usually the patients mind their manners, or they're in too much pain to cause trouble, but we're all soldiers. When fights break out, I settle them, which means the other patients don't really open up to me. I fought for the Daggerfall Covenant. Even before the war, I marched under its banner. Now here I am, guarding this hospice as an unknown malady torments the minds of their fellows. I guess their suspicions are only natural.
I was told they weren't taking new patients, not until they figured out what's going on. Still, welcome to Steadfast Manor. I'd offer a tour, but I don't quite feel up to it. Haven't slept in days. I can barely stand up straight. Affliction? A good word for it. I can feel it wearing away at my mind. After days without sleep, my thoughts are cloudy. I'm I'm a shell of myself. Mender Rosalind's tonics help some. She knows what she's doing, unlike some here. Master Healer Verlaine only manages the symptoms. He sedates us or just offers comforting words, but he won't seek out the root cause. Rosalind studied this affliction. She believes it's a curse of the humors, but she needs more research. I thought I was never going to walk again. A wood elf snapped the bones in both my legs. How the little fellow managed it still baffles me. And again, I can't recall much of the battle where it happened. Flashes of memory and no more. I was carried to the healers, but they had to save their magic for the mortally wounded. So I got wooden braces and some bark to chew on that dulled the pain. My bones healed all wrong, made walking constant agony. Somewhat, Master Healer Verlaine was frank about how I'd suffer more before I healed. They had to re-break each bone and slowly knit them back together. But the pain lessens each day. I can shuffle around now. For that, I'm grateful. I was a true believer from the moment I heard of it. I felt no hatred for my enemies. I only fought as I was ordered to. I like the idea of learning about other peoples. I admit I was delighted when I first arrived. Now, my mind is slipping. Something is spreading among the patients. It makes us lose ourselves. I have to think it's a deliberate attack. One of the other alliances is doing this to me. Perhaps coming here was a mistake. We're not close, but I respect her intellect. With her knowledge of alchemy, she could do anything. She chooses to comfort and heal people. Aiding the weak isn't a choice I would make. But now that I'm in need, I see the virtue of it.
Such a calming vista, yes? The sound of waves lapping at the shore always used to bring Milagi peace. But now, Milagi feels like he may jump out of his fur. Fear ripples through Milagi as if he faces battle again. This one believes so. Milagi was beginning to feel strong. He planned to return to his family in Riemann. Then, at dinner one evening, Milagi could not catch his breath. His heart pounded, his vision darkened. Only Mender Roslin could calm him. Mender Roslin is a master of alchemical remedies. She mixed a powder into Milagi's tea that calmed the storm. Yesterday, Roslin told this one she might have a cure for his sickness, a new potion that looked promising. But she has disappeared.